Good afternoon, everybody. We are going to continue our study of chapter 10, taking unit rates to a more realistic place in so much that we're comparing prices today. We're going to compare the cost of 1 ounce or one item in relation to like groceries and goods. So this example here to start. Hold on, I have to let some people in that are running behind here. This example that you can see on page 183 of your workbook is comparing two different sizes of the same product. So you know how you go to the grocery store and it's available for purchase, several different options possibly of the same item. And then you as the consumer get to select what makes the most sense for you to buy, and maybe what's the better buy. What do I mean by better buy? Parker, what do I mean by better buy?
The most cost efficient.
And when you say cost efficient, you mean that I can get more for less money, right? So I get more product for the least amount of cost. So when I think about that in terms of unit rates, I want the cost for 1 ounce or one item to be as low as possible, right? So in this example, they're comparing two things, right? The cost of a 12-ounce box and the cost of a 15-ounce box. But if you just look at these two scenarios on your page, obviously $2.70 is lower than $3.12, but this box you're getting more product, right? So in order to figure out the overall value per ounce, we're going to compare it to the unit rate. We're going to set up what's called a proportion. Did we talk about that word yesterday? Not yesterday, on Monday. Did we talk about the word proportion?
You said ratio.
So it's definitely a ratio, but this ratio is set equal to another equivalent ratio, and it's going to be used to compare the overall value. Colin, whatever's being told, stop. Everyone put a box around or highlight the proportions for the 12-ounce box and the proportion for the 15-ounce box. Notice how there's an equal sign between them. That's how I know it's a proportion. It's setting one relationship equal to another. And I want you to add one more thing for me. Notice how on the bottom part of this proportion in the lower right corner, it says 1. 1 what? Look to the right for some help. 1 what? Is it 1 ounce? Yeah. Everyone write the word ounce here. Next to the 1 ounce, 1 ounce. What will be on the top part of this proportion? What does C represent? What's C represent, Finn? Sorry, Lucy. I meant to say Lucy. The cost in what, Finn? The cost in dollars, right? So in this top part, we're going to be using a dollar sign and then a spot for the dollars involved, and then maybe a spot for the cents involved, okay? So on this side as well, we're going to kind of plan it out where we'll have a spot for the dollars involved and then 2 decimal places for the cents involved. Does that make sense? Get it? Does that make sense? Ha, 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 ha. So one way to calculate the unit rate, remember, is to simply divide. So $2.70 divided by 12 is going to get us the result 0.225. What does that mean in terms of dollars though? 0.225. So when you get to the register, did they say, okay, that'll be 0.225? How do you calculate what you're actually going to be paying the place, Gavin? He said round to the nearest cent, right? The nearest cent, which is in which position? Tenths, hundredths, thousandths. Yeah, we got to round to the, actually it's a hundredth. We have to round to the nearest hundredth position so that our decimal is in dollars and then 2 decimal places for the cents, right? To the nearest hundredth. So 225 rounds to be 0.23. In the other side though here, if we divide $3.12 by 15 ounces, we see that we have 21 cents. So now that we can look at the two, is it the better buy to spend 23 cents per ounce or 21 cents per ounce? Which is the better buy, boys and girls? Spending 21 cents per ounce, right? Now, overall, you are spending more money, right? But you're getting more value. So if you're going to use more product in the long run, it makes more sense to buy the product that has the better value. If you think you're only going to use a small portion of that, then it is still going to be better for you to buy the smaller object. So you have to decide as the consumer, what is my need? Do I need to save money or do I need to, buy for long-term purposes? What's your need? What's your purpose? All right, let's scoot down to the bottom here. And it looks like we're comparing another price point here between 6 ears of corn and 8 ears of corn. I'm going to try to zoom in a little bit. Is that better? Easier to see? All right, so we've set up, what is this thing that I'm going to put a box around called? What's this thing called? We set up a proportion. They did it for us. Put a box around the proportions. Put a box around the proportions, please. And then we're going to fill in the blanks here on our paper to help us solve for how do I get from a 6 to be a 1. How do I do it? How do I get a 6 to be a 1? I'm dividing by 6. So I use that same factor on the numerator. I'm dividing by 6. Okay. And then on the other side, I'm doing the same thing, but what factor am I dividing by this time? I'm dividing by 8, so put an 8 in the box there. So you might not have it with you, but you're welcome to use it on your homework. A calculator will be acceptable for today's homework. But the problems here in our workbook aren't that difficult. We can do them on the paper. So let's take this division problem off to the side. We know 6 divided by 6 is 1. That one's already squared away. 1 ear of corn. But 0.96 divided by 6, I'm going to go off to the side with that. 96 cents divided by 6. We'll see that it goes, let's try it out. Oops. Drop down the 6. 6. Hey, there's no remainder, so that's good. There's no rounding here. So that means for 1 ear of corn in the 6-pack, how much are you spending per ear of corn? 16 cents. Thank you. But when you're purchasing the 8-pack, we're going to do the same thing, but we're going to divide by 8. So divide the total cost by 8 now. 8 does not go into 1, but 8 goes into 11. We have drop that dividend down of 32, 14, and then we're done with the dividend, right? So 14 cents. So when I buy the 8-pack, however, the cost is 14 cents for 1 ear of corn, and therefore the cost of buying the 8-pack is a better value because it ends up costing you less per item, right? You want to spend less per item. So we're going to write in this statement on the bottom. We're going to say 14 cents is less than 16 cents. So 8 ears for $1.12 is the better buy. All this is filled in on your books, guys? You're gonna need this support of the proportions to complete our assignment here for class. Thumbs up when we're ready to move on to the next page. I'm going to do a couple on 184 just to continue practicing this skill. But really, same thought as yesterday, where our proportion, always the cost is being divided by the number of ounces or the number of items, right? The cost is always where? Cost is always on the numerator side, right? And therefore, it forces the number of items in the proportion to always be out of 1. That's what we want to find. We're finding the unit rate, right? The unit rate of buying 1 ounce or 1 product. Scooting on here. Okay. Same thing. We're going to set up a proportion, though, by ourselves this time. We don't have the book guiding us. So if we can buy 10 stickers for $1.50, and 30 stickers for $4.20, we have to compare by using a proportion to decide which is the better buy. So you tell me which one goes on top, the 10 stickers or the $1.50? Which one goes on top?
$1.50.
$1.50, thank you. Cost always goes on the top. And then we're going to set up a proportion. 10 stickers goes on the bottom. We're going to set it equal to the cost of 1 sticker. So how do we find this missing cost? What factor do we divide by to get a 10 to look like a 1? What factor? We're going to divide by 10. So we're going to divide 150 by 10. And 150 divided by 10 is easy to do. You don't need to draw out a long division problem at all. Whenever there's a power of 10 involved, you just have to scooch the decimal point one way or another, right? If it's multiplying, you make that number bigger. If it's dividing, what happens? A 10 makes that number smaller. So which direction would I scoot that decimal point? I would scoot it to the left, causing the answer to be what? What would the cost be equal to? 15 cents. Well done. So in this C spot, if you want to like erase the C, what could we write in the C spot now? 15 cents. Okay. That's the proportion for this part. Now let's set a proportion for the other side. I'm going to use green. All right. Does 30 go on the top or $4.20 go on the top?
$4.20.
$4.20. That's the dollars involved divided by 30. I'm going to put ST this time. Set it equal to an equivalent ratio, but I want it to be out of terms of 1 so I can find the cost of 1 sticker in this circumstance. How do I find the cost? What am I dividing by?
30.
We're dividing $4.20 by 30 in order to find that missing cost, right? So this is something I might do off to the side. $4.20 divided by 30. How many times does 30 go into 4? It doesn't. Pull up that decimal point. How many times does 30 go into 42? Once. How many times does this drops down to a 0? How many times does 30 go into 120? 4. All right, so we're all set with that. Oh, you guys can't see it here in the classroom. Here, there we go. The Zoom window was blocking my work. But let's say that you did have a division situation that kept going. How many decimal places do you have to take it? 1 won't be enough. 2 won't be enough. You have to go 3 decimal places so you can round the value in that thousands position to the hundredth spot, so that you can find exactly how much you're going to pay at the cash register. Okay. So if your division problem keeps going, how many place zones do you have to take it to? Take it to the 3rd one here so that you can round to the nearest cent. All right. All right. So now that we look at the result here, and we place in the cost spot 14 cents, which is the better buy. So do this, just put a little big circle around. This one is the better buy. The better buy is the one that costs less per unit, per item, per ounce. Okay, let's do number 2 on your own. Set up the proportions, do the division for each. And I'm just going to work slowly. So every now and then pick up your head and compare your work to mine. Okay, number 2, go for it. So as long as you have the proportions set up, then you can figure out this on the calculator. Erin had a good question. She said, do you mind if I use the calculator? I don't, but I need you to put the proportion on your paper. Okay. So you can set it up on your paper and then pop into your calculator 24 divided by 200. That's fine with me. But if you think you can manage it in your head, which you should be able to, then we're not going to our lockers right now. If you don't have it with you, it's totally fine. I'm going to do the calculations off to the side. So 24 divided by 200, that's the spot I'm at right now. I'm going to go over here. 24 divided into 200. Now, 200 doesn't fit into 24, so what do? Add a decimal, add a 0, and keep going, right? How many times does 200 fit into 240? 1 time. All right, and I keep going. I need to add a 0 and keep it going. How many times does 200 go into 400? 2. Good job. And that'll take care of the whole dividend, right? So 12 cents. I'm going to erase my C here and put it in the C spot. It's going to be 12 cents. Okay, I'm going to go after the second one now. $36 for 300 stamps. Let's see what it compares to the price of 1 stamp. Okay. I have to fill in the C spot by dividing 36 into 300 parts. Whew. I can't do it. So what do, Shane? I can't put 300 into 36. So what do I have to do?
You have to add, wait, no, you have to go to the 3, right? Oh, no, you have to go to add a 0.
So do I just put a 0? Do I have to add a decimal point first?
Add a decimal point first.
Yes. Decimal, decimal, 0. Now how many times does 300 go into 360? 1 time, right? Keep her going. 6, 0, drop down another 0. 300 goes into 600 how many times? Oh, hey, look at that. So they both have 12 cents as their cost. So what does that mean? They're equal. So neither situation is necessarily a better buy. They're both equal. So you just select what quantity you truly need at the time. If you don't need a ton of stamps, then don't buy a ton of stamps. But their value is the same. So you can feel good about if you ended up buying less, you still paid the same amount per unit, per item. Any questions about that? I'm going to explain our homework. And then if we have some time, we're going to come back to number 3 here on our workbook. But if not, we'll save number 3 or number 4 for tomorrow. I'd rather spend some time looking at our homework so that you're ready to go with it tonight, okay?
Totally tease.
So, yes, Totally Tease. Who shops at Totally Tease? Shane does. T-shirt town. Who likes T-shirt town better? T-shirt town sounds more fun. All right, I'm going to our homework page now, which somehow people have submitted it before I even gave instructions on it. Not sure how that worked, people. But I'm gonna have to take a look at that to make sure that we're on the right track. All right, if you can hear my voice, clap once. Thank you. I would love someone to run these through the class and pass them out. That would be very helpful if anyone could do this. Come on, 2 people. Let's get it done. All right, quick. So when you open today's, you're going to need to go into the Google Classroom to complete this as a resource. There's nothing to submit online, but this is where I placed all the resources that you'll need to get it done. So we're going to be comparing prices. You have the paper in front of you of some common grocery items. And they're going to take you through a couple of real world scenarios where you can purchase the same item in different sizes, right? I mean, for my family, don't even think about buying the smaller pack because it's gone before the day is out.
Yes.
I got to buy usually the bigger pack, but I am curious to know, does it make more sense for me to buy 2 small packs or 1 big pack? Like to see what the value is of the items. So to do this, you pay attention to something that is the unit rate of the object. So some grocery stores, look on the top of this paper, will actually put the cost per ounce or the cost per item right on the tag for you. Can you see where this arrow is pointing? And that's nice as a consumer, because if you see what you're spending per ounce, then you can make a judgment on really what do you need and which would be the better buy for you and your family. So look at these 3 different sizes of salad dressing. Number 1, number 2, number 3. Look at those 3 options. What size of dressing has the lowest price? Number 1, 2, or 3? Number 1 has the lowest price. Would you agree? Right.
Yeah.
It has the lowest price. So on this line, please just write a number 1. We're just going to put number 1. But look at the next line. It says, what size dressing has the lowest price per ounce? Number 1, 2, or 3? Number 2. And that means that you're going to spend less money overall if you consume this much of the product, right? So you're going to actually save money in the long run. If you plan to buy this product repeatedly, then you might be better off just buying the larger quantity so that you save money over time. Yes, you're spending more today, but you're saving over time because you're spending less per ounce. Does that make sense? So that's something to keep in mind as the consumer when you're investigating the cost of items versus the value of items. Look at the next question. What size dressing costs the most per ounce? What do you think? Now 3. Now that might surprise you. You might think that you get a bigger quantity and it ends up costing you less overall, but that's how sometimes companies like to, no, they like to like scam. I don't want to use the word scam, but they're taking advantage of the fact you need more product and are willing to pay more for a bigger bottle, even if it costs you more per ounce, just for the convenience of having it in one place, in one bucket, in one package. I know sometimes in my household, I'm willing to spend a little bit more to get the size of box or bottle that I want in my cabinet. And that's a decision you have to make, item per item per item. So over time, you get savvy about what you're willing to spend extra money on and what you're not willing to spend extra money on. How about the last one? What size dressing is the best deal? So when they say the best deal, what am I focusing on? The price per ounce, right? The value, the unit rate per ounce. And number 2 has the lowest value. So number 2 is going to be your best buy.
Sweet.
Okay. Now scroll down the page. Oh, I'm going to scroll. You're going to look down your page. None of this you can fill in here today in the classroom. Can't. Why? Where do you have to go to find the information for these items? You got to go to the grocery store. And I know some of you cannot physically go to the grocery store today. Colin, we don't have time. So the cool thing about living in the time period that you are is all of the major grocery stores have what? Have an online store developed so that you can not only investigate the prices and the price per ounce of the items you want to buy, you can compare them, but you can even purchase them, have them delivered to your door. But let me show you a couple here. If you go back to the Google Classroom post, I posted a direct link for Walmart's website, Kroger's, and Meijer. Now, those are the 3 giant box stores in our area. And those are the 3 with the most developed online stores. So those would be the 3 to kind of focus on. You pick one. I will tell you that when you go to Kroger's website, let's check it out. What was the first item on your paper? Oreos?
Oreos.
So once the Kroger website loads, they'll show you, all their coupon items, their sale items. They've even shown me the things I recently buy so that if I want to buy them again, it's really easy for me to do and build as a consumer. But up in the search bar, you would just type the product that you're looking for. So you press enter, and then of course there's going to be, look at 91 results. There's 91 results for Oreos here. There's so many different options, but what I want you to do is find the package that looks the most like the one on your paper. So if you had to look at these 3 packages, which one looks the most like the one on your paper?
The third one.
I think the third one. I agree. So it doesn't say what to write down the price. What does the question ask you to do? It says write down the cost per ounce. Is it listed there?
No.
Let me zoom in.
It's very small.
It's not there.
14.3.
Here, I'll zoom in. Oh,
14.3 for.
no, that's how many ounces are in the product. That doesn't tell you the price per ounce. So how would you figure out the price per ounce? Remember?
Divide the cost by the ounces.
Yes. So you do cost. What's the cost? $3.29 divided by what? 14.3. Now you're able to do that on a calculator today. I'm going to pop it up here on the screen. Not sure if you can see it. No, you can't. $3.29 divided by 14.3, and what do you get?
0.3.
I got 0.23006993006. Do I need to write down all those digits?
You only have to do the first 2.
Yeah, but round to the nearest cent. So look at the third digit, 230. So what am I rounding it to? 0.23. So for that first box, boys and girls, underneath Oreos, please write 23 cents.
What's cool?
23 cents.
You don't know what Cool Whip is?
I want to show you something cool though. This is a news flash. Shane asked what Cool Whip is. Shane, if you haven't lived until you've had Cool Whip.
My friend dad.
All right, it is. It's fluffier. With whipped cream. Can I give you a little hint? All right, so I showed you Kroger's website. But I want to show you Walmart's website. Okay, I'm gonna do the same exact thing. I'm gonna go up to the search bar
Make Mom's Day.
and type Oreos. Find the one that looks the most like your product. Yeah, they do.
Yeah, they have
Here, I'm scrolling down. Which one looks the most like your product? Maybe this first one. Maybe this one over here.
No, not the one.
Keep looking.
Yeah, I bet you can find that.
Okay, we're doing this one right now. Which one kind of looks the most like the one on your paper? I would say maybe in the first row, not the family size.
Is it $11 too much? For Lady Gaga Oreos?
Maybe these. They're just shaped like basketballs.
Yeah, but that could cost more. Go down one more. Because they're shaped really good.
Oh, everyone look really closely at this Walmart website. What do you notice is listed right next to the price?
Ounces percent on using that one.
What does it have there? The price per ounce. Look in gray right here.
Wait, so then we can just like copy that down?
Yes, look at.
Is that like $3 per ounce?
It says 30.1 cents.
Oh.
So how would you write that in terms of dollars and cents? You would go 0.30,
Can we just write the 0.0?
right? 30. Well, I want you to know that it's 30 cents, not $30, right? So maybe put it all in terms of dollars and cents, okay?
I'm doing Walmart. I'm doing Walmart. They show us. I'm going to Apple store.
So tell me, as a consumer, why would it be more helpful to have that information already calculated for you? Why would it be more helpful?
Because then you can like do the math.
So you can make the decision like on the spot, which is the better buy, right?
Kroger.
I'm curious to see if some of you do Kroger and some of you do Meijer and some of you do Walmart, how the price for the same item varies from store to store. Have you been to like a more specialty shop like Westbourne before?
Yeah.
Now, I will tell you, you're gonna pay 30% more
What?
for items that are, why? Girls, you're going to pay more for an item at a smaller store because their margins are very tight. So who's going to bear the brunt of the cost? The consumer. So you can expect to pay more money at a smaller store for the same item because it costs them more to shelf it and stock it and ship it, right? So I will warn you that you'll probably find the best prices at the bigger stores like Walmart and Kroger and Meijer. But it's often exhausting to go walk through those giant stores, isn't it? So sometimes you will go to Westbourne or somewhere smaller, CVS, to get it quick and get in, get out, if it's one thing you need. Does that make sense? So last thing before we go, look further down your page. Look further down your page here.
Is it where like the dip is?
Yep, where the can of, or the jar of peanut butter and the mayonnaise and the Kraft cheese. Why does there have several boxes for the same item? What are you doing in this section? Different sizes, right? I want you to, and maybe they only offer 3 different sizes. Write as many as you can find.
We're going up for one.
Like if they don't, these are very common items to be sold in different quantities. And definitely on Walmart, Kroger's website, you can find different quantities of the same item.
Is the second one
Mayonnaise, yeah. So creamy peanut butter, mayonnaise, and then it looks like Kraft cheese slices. So coming up in the future, we're going to do a little investigation of what is the cost of the name brand item versus the generic or store brand. And overall, as a consumer, if you choose to spend a little more for a name national brand item, and why, or you're comfortable buying the Kroger version of the same item, and why, it might cost you less over time. Any questions about how to complete the rest of this worksheet? So what's the main part of about this one? You're going to divide the cost by the ounces, right? On these packages. And then down here, you're going to compare the cost per ounce for the different sizes and then answer the question here at the side. All right? Question? Question?
So will every like item we look up have at least how many ounces are in it?
So expect for a jar of peanut butter, we can even like look at it right now. For a jar of peanut butter, we type in Jif creamy peanut butter. Look at how many 23 results. So you can buy this in lots of different quantities. This one says 16 ounces. This one says 28 ounces. Look at this one says 2.5 pounds though. How do I convert pounds to ounces? How many ounces are in 1 pound? 16. So how many ounces would be in 2.5? Wow, that would be 32 plus 8. What's 32 plus 8? 40. So 40 ounces is in this jar. And then this one's even bigger. It's 64 ounces. So you'll have no problem finding the different quantities of these really staple items, okay? Gavin, question?
For the second one, at the end, is that syrup?
Yes, that's syrup. So we've got Oreos, Cool Whip, Eggo waffles. It looks like Oscar Mayer brand bologna, orange juice by Minute Maid, Aunt Jemima syrup, and then Kraft macaroni and cheese.
The Aunt Jemima has a face on it.
It does. This is a picture, a worksheet from a while ago, it looks like, but some of the logos have changed slightly, but all these products are still available at the store, all right? All right, get to work. Have fun.
They're lucky they get to start now.
One benefit of working from home, right? You can do it on the spot. All right, I'll see you guys. Bye.
So Bryce,